Alright, this is another D&D Dungeon Master game prep video. We've played a couple of sessions since we wrapped up the last Phandalin adventure. We have a couple new players, so we went through one or two sessions just to get the players up to speed, and we may have some more new players swapping in. So moving forward, Floridus, Jothrin, and Tidrin, they are for the most part out. There may be some guest appearances if they ever decide to play again. But for now, it's Scrump, Kreef, Teasted, and Minkus is one of the new players. We may have one or two other ones that I'll add next time. I wanted to get the party out of the Phandalin area. We kind of ran that just to get everyone acquainted, and I kind of wanted to go in a different, more homebrew route and just come up with something new. So in a couple of the sessions, kind of trying to tie some of the giant activity around Phandalin that I had been hinting at throughout the sessions. The party was on the search for fire giants, and so they were just kind of hanging out in the woods somewhere, 50 miles or so around Phandalin, and they happened to come across a fire giant, or a fire giant actually chased them back, and so they kind of went on the run to try to warn the town. And along the way, they fought some wolves, and one of the players wanted to tame a wolf, and I guess everyone's really into taming animals, so we kind of went through some skill checks, and the wolf is kind of hesitant, but he's pretty much a prisoner of war, and they at least feed him, so he's along for the ride, and he was kind of scared of the fire giant as he was coming, so the wolf is now part of the party, and they also captured I believe it's a fairy dragon, if I'm not mistaken. Is it a fairy dragon? Yeah, I believe it's a little tiny. It was just a random encounter, and the party also caught it because it was just doing some hijinks. It wasn't really, it really wasn't doing much, so it was just. And this is going to take forever. I'm going to leave it as fairy dragon, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Anyway, it just kind of does some. It shoots out dust and can do some effects to the party if they're not careful. So they crafted like a metal case and gave it like one little air hole to breathe, and they've been carrying it back. And I don't know if I'll be able to do this now, given some events that happened, but there were actually two wolves that they fought, and Minkus actually shot a pebble into the left eye of the other wolf, and then that wolf ran away. So I was thinking about bringing him back, but we'll have to see. So on their way back, they meet a lady called Auntie Jade who's running, and this was just a random NPC that I found for just a random encounter. Um, the party tells her there's a fire giant coming, so she decides to run back with them, and she gives the party some tea. And then they ask her to go warn the town that fire giants are coming, and so they split off, and eventually the fire giant reaches up, and they decide to make a stand at one of the farmlands outside of Phandalin, and a fight ensued. And the main thing that I wanted to do, and I kind of just waved my hand and said the giant releases a fire element, and that fire element ran away, kind of as a last-ditch effort when the fire giant was about to be killed. And while the party was focused on the fire giant, the elemental ran away, and the party saw fire going into the town, and they followed its trail, and they see that it leads to their Chateau Matador, which is just the keep from the book. And then the next thing they know, the ground shakes and cracks, and pebbles fall into the earth below. Or that's what they experience ground cracking and shaking, and Minkus is really big into rocks, so I had to throw in just some more information about pebbles and rocks and stuff to see if he's still interested. But um, once they follow the fire elemental to the manor, they try to attack it, um, but it's being absorbed into the forge of spells, and the party just did terrible. Um, they kept missing the fire elemental or just not doing any damage, and they see that the Forge of Spells that the party had transported, and I said that they could transport the Forge of Spells. Um, I'm sure they had some big ideas for it on creating magic items, but it starts cracking and turning white hot as the fire elemental starts to become one with it, and eventually the fire elemental succeeds in my hand waving. And then there's kind of sort of like a bubble around the banner that the party clearly sees, and they see that the ground outside that bubble starts uh, falling and crumbling and fire shooting up everywhere and there's smoke everywhere. And off in the distance they see, um, I didn't write down here, but it's a two-headed fire giant off in the horizon. Uh, kind of surrounded by smoke and fire, and it's just all sorts of destruction. And there's just chaos going on. And I set them up with the task that they were able to save, um, or they could attempt to save one NPC who were just kind of a little bit, yeah, they were random, but they were going to be helpers in the coming sessions. Minkus decided to try to save some more common folk, so he was able to save 23 with magic and stuff. Um, and then the rest of the group was able to save a dragonborn, Auntie Jade, half elf, and a turtle. And I have all the notes on those. So those are just kind of the more sophisticated NPCs that can help in the coming sessions. So yeah, my plan, and I guess I'd actually given the fire giant a name that they fought, was Multum, and I may just switch that to be the big bad. So I don't have to come up with another name, and they never knew the name of him, but uh, we'll go with Multum for the two-headed. He is a two-headed fire giant. And I'm basically coming up with a scenario where this fire giant wants to take over the land in the present time. Um, and we're going to do a little bit of time traveling. I don't know how that's going to work. But essentially, whatever happened to the Forge of Spells caused the party to transport back in time or transport somewhere else back in time. I'm not sure yet. And I'm sure fire giants live pretty long. How long do fire giants live? Yeah, so like 350 years. I mean, I think that's enough time that Phandalin wasn't around. And I don't know. But I'm just trying to get out of that setting anyway. So, 350 years would probably be, if we go 300 years back, it's probably a lot that could have happened. And who knows, maybe some of these other giants, 800 years, whatever. But basically go back in time. So his goal is to go back in time, and I'm going to switch this up. I don't know how this is going to go. Because essentially what I want to do is the party's going to go back in time. There's going to be, less of the humanoid races around. It's not as developed. And there's sort of a war going on between these humanoid races, and they're kind of wiping out all the giants using, brutal tactics and stuff. So just kind of flipping it where, they're part of the society, but they're seeing all these atrocities happen. Are they going to take part in it, or do they help, the giants who maybe aren't? I don't know. I don't want them to be as brutal. They're more of the commoners or NPCs of, the present time, where they're a little bit more passive, and the events of the humanoids make them more warmongering or whatever. But that's kind of, so go back in time and change events, and he's going to be alive, I think. And why he chose the party, I don't really know, but if they can grab the Forge of Spells, then they can do other stuff. That's probably his thinking. But to lead to giants ruling and present. So I don't know. I think that would be interesting to see if they, go along with it, and then they're basically going to wipe away there. And I'm not too concerned about the time traveling rules. Um, there's magic, so whatever. If they bring it up, we'll just do a quest that they can preserve their existing timeline as, for them, just wave a hand stuff. And if they question it too much, then, time travel. We'll just have to see how it goes. But that's kind of the thing. So I need to fill in these NPCs. I have a whole list of NPCs that I need to keep track of for this one. I'm not too concerned about some of the commoners. I'm really trying to do this as like a survival. Um, so essentially, when they get transported in time and place, they ended up in like a swamp or a marsh. I think a swamp. I think we want trees and water. Um, but it also brought their chateau. So there's a lot of rocks under the chateau. It was on the hill, so that's kind of still intact. Um, and they haven't really finished up the chateau, but it kind of gives them a place to stay while they explore this new area. So it's going to be like a, I don't know if I'll do hex crawl, but hex crawl survival type thing where they'll have to find food, kind of role play a few encounters of that and just make sure that they're keeping track of that. And then eventually they can send the NPCs out. So the first thing I think I want to do though is um, immediate danger. So kind of to show them that, hey, the swamp, when they kind of transported in, it was peaceful. There wasn't much going on. I mean, after the chaos, everyone kind of gathered their bearings, and they're standing on this rock in the middle of a swamp. They don't really have good visibility. And they kind of hear swampy noises. I don't know, creatures, um, birds, whatever. And then for the next session, I think I'm going to want to bring in some creatures, maybe a giant, kind of build out the ecosystem here. So I'm going to D&D Beyond encounter building. I went to swamp environment. I just want official only. I haven't really made any homebrew. I don't want to see anyone else's homebrew. Minimum CR 2, max 20 just to see what there is. I know there's a lot of, the UNT snake people. I don't think I need a black dragon right away. So, I mean, really just to start it, I mean, lizard folk, that may be interesting to have some factions of lizard folk versus, I think it's bullywugs. Is that it? Bullywugs. Um, Bullywug. I don't even think if that's in a swamp, but if I do by name, yeah. Carrion. Just get some of the more standard creatures that you would find in a swamp. Giant lizards, crocodiles. Here's a 5-armed troll that may be interesting as an NPC. Fierce and only acid and fire can resist. Yeah, that might be interesting. Just to. Ooh, troll makes 6 attacks, 1 with his bite and 5 with his claws. Um, so they're all just going to kind of be, they're a little bit more primitive out here, and it's more survival. So if you have something to offer, there's tribes, and maybe I come up with 3 or 4 tribes. That's what I'm thinking. Froghemoth, that would be fun. Maybe have the troll come out, and then the Froghemoth comes out and fights it, and it's kind of a kind of classic dog eat dog. Monster eats bigger, or bigger monster eats smaller monster type things. Not necessarily that they have to fight it. Maybe they run away and or try to trap it or outsmart it or whatever. They're not very not that smart. So maybe one of the just get some NPCs swallowed up and but kind of putting it into the players' hands of what they want to do. Um, just real sandboxy. There's nothing built out. I'm trying to get them to, kind of say what they're interested in, what they want to do. Um, I'm just trying to plant some seeds and get prep some stuff, and then we kind of just wing it from there. Shambling mound, so that's yeah. There's a lot of stuff in here. I think I need to source no monster type. Let's just go to beast real quick. So like giant crocodile, and I'm just adding these to encounters so I have them easy enough. Large subterranean lizard, giant constrictor snake, so I can just easily pull these up, and I'll probably just use D&D random encounter tables. So it's really not. I think Goblinist is. Does this still work? Um, so yeah, we try to add some of these. Let me see what's under elemental. Maybe we add some elementals. Then I get rid of beast. Flail, snail, water arrow. And I'm going to kind of mix it up. The fire giants are also in the swamp. And that could be some interesting effects. So immediate danger. Let's just do random swamp encounter. Because the players should try to, either they'll talk to the NPCs that they found, so that'll kind of be an introduction. And that's why I kind of see either they'll introduce themselves, try to get to know the NPCs, what they're good at, or they'll kind of try to go explore. But either way, I can kind of force the random encounter if the monster, if they're able to, they have 20 to 30 people on this hill in the middle of a swamp, they should be able to, at least scare off something that isn't too hard. So that's kind of my thinking there. But immediate danger, so that's going to be a random swamp encounter. Um, they're going to talk to NPCs. What else would they do? I mean, they're going to have to survive, so. And this kind of goes into immediate danger. They may have to go out and, so food and water. They kind of already have shelter, so that's good. It is a, so let me, and I'm probably going to have to figure out a way because they have and I'm never going to remember how to spell it. Force erupts. Yeah, Chateau Matador. Um, so this is their, um, I'm just going to call it shelter to make it more survival-y. I mean, right now it's probably ruined, and I'm going to have to figure out how to. I mean, they're probably not going to be able to patch it up with the materials that they have unless somebody has magic. Um, I may come up with the ranking. I don't know. I'll have to look like 0 to 100. So if you have any good ideas for, keep building, I know there's a few books out there that just, they're all, I need something a little bit simpler. I think, we're not getting gritty nitty, or nitty gritty, but we kind of just need something that is quick to do because, I mean, after a while it probably gets boring. And we play about twice a month, so I'm sure people, maybe in our off sessions or during the week, we can come up with stuff they can do. But right now it's ruined, which I probably classify as a 0, and then 100 is probably remodeled or completely rebuilt. Yeah, I don't know if I left anything else out. That's kind of the immediate danger. We want an encounter. It's going to be a little bit harder. They'll have some help though. Um, I'll try to get the NPCs to do more help actions, and unless they're in dire straits, then somebody can bust out some of their spells. I need to relook at what these NPCs are, but they're going to talk to the NPCs. So introductions. These are most of the time these were just random NPCs that I said were part of the town that they never met before. They're a little bit more hardcore than your standard townspeople because they were part of the refugees that came from the fire giants actually destroying some of the other cities. So they never met. So introduction, I'll probably have some sort of helper system. Again, I know there's a book for that. Um, but this is going to kind of be, I think, just to simplify things, like mission based. They can send these guys out to do different things depending on what they're good at. And I'm sure they'll try to optimize and send out the right person, but that can lead to all sorts of. It just depends on what the players want to do. So that's why I'm kind of in a bind here. I try not to come up with too much, just keeping it very vague and simple. Um, so food, water, shelter. Yeah. So the other thing, sheets. So 20 NPCs for D&D. I believe that's the one where I got it from. So in the session where everyone was falling down, yep, so I already filtered this down. So I gave each person the chance, so there was 5 of them, I believe. And I always forget, 1, 2, 3, there was only 4. So how did they save? Dragonborn, Aunt Judy, Half Elf, Myrna. Ah, nope, that makes sense. So, as part of saving the... Yep, so 4... Minkus saved them. Somebody saved the Dragonborn. Somebody... Oh, I forgot. The character that I was playing was a druid. He saved someone. So yeah, that's right. So I kind of created these beforehand, and I kind of gave them descriptions of the character. And I said, hey, this is a turtle. It looks like he has a lot of cooking equipment. I mean, that's a dead giveaway. But he looks pretty battle hardy. Um, and these, I think, I forgot where I got these from, but these were just random Adventure Hoax personalities and appearances. I don't know if I'll use those, but I kind of just created a. I say he's battle hardy, but he has 5 hit points. I may change that. I may make them level 5 or level 4 or 3 or something to meet up with the party. Um, but somebody wanted to save the turtle, and they don't know his name. Somebody saved Alithar. I believe it was Scrump because he looked the most battle ready. Looked like he had a bunch of weapons on him. He had his armor, and Scrump appreciates battle, and I think they had a little. Yeah, he's pretty. He's probably smarter than Scrump. Intelligence and wisdom. And then they happen to save the spy, Halius. Yeah, that's how I forgot their names. They don't know their names. So Damu the turtle, Alithar, the holy champion, who's the dragonborn. This was the half-elf spy, Halius. They don't know he's a spy, but he had daggers and light crossbow, and I think I said that he had an eye patch or a hood cover over one of his eyes and a scar going down his face to his lip. So that was kind of like physical appearances just to see, what struck with people. So they chose him. Auntie Jade. Kreef chose Auntie Jade because he was the one that was running with Auntie Jade. He was kind of lagging behind, so he had a nice little conversation with her before they got to Phandalin, and then when everything happened, he decided to save her. Um, and he may or may not, be attracted to 90-year-old Auntie Jade. So, and I once again forgot where I got this. This was just a random list. I'll put it in the links if I ever find it. Celia Triplet was the one who submitted this. I think it was on Reddit somewhere. So I was just like, random list of 20 NPCs. I had them roll to see if they could actually save them. Most of them passed. Um, and I rolled pretty high. I mean, the DC was probably 15 or 10 if they used some sort of magic to help them, but most of them didn't have magic except for Minkus. And then I kind of wanted two, so these were once again random NPCs that I thought were interesting. And they were part of the townsfolk from different towns, they just don't meet them yet. I'm thinking these may be some villains who are mad that the party didn't save them, and so they're out for revenge. They happen to cling onto the side of the hill or as the chateau was being transported, and when they landed, they went and scampered off. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Magella Faustus. It's a halfling vampire. Small lady with purple scarf with teeth and blonde hair fashioned in a bun. It's kind of weird that description was with teeth and blonde hair. Um, yep, and she commands her scarf to turn into a makeshift umbrella when she needs to walk on daylight. So I think I probably described to the party that this halfling had an umbrella out while she was escaping because well, the daylight was kind of covered by smoke. So um, some of this personality stuff is just from the random stuff. I'll probably tweak it, but for now, yep. So Quirk, she has a notebook. Oh yeah, that was she had a dagger that was flying with her, and the party didn't seem to be too interested in that. But yeah, she'll have a notebook in which she has a notebook to kill 1,000 ways to kill, and she'll probably use that to try to kill the party. Maybe the party happens across a cave or something, and they find all these with their names in it. So a lot of interesting stuff I think that can happen here. Um, Poison daggers, a displacer armor. You know, a lot of this stuff was just I just randomly took it and just put it here for my notes. So um, I'll probably use this lady, Magella Faustus, the halfling vampire. So these are probably going to be some of the villains. Oh no, I don't know how to paste just letters. Paste without formatting. I don't want. Okay, there we go. So turtle needs to go back up under NPC. Let's see if I can get that a little bit. So villains, this is kind of going to be, and I try to keep this a little bit organized. So heading 1. So the halfling vampire. And I have Auntie Jade, so I think I can get rid of that. Did I have her on there? I did. Yep. So this is just kind of me organizing now as I go through. So we're going to have Magella, and the party probably won't see them. I just kind of want to get all this fleshed out. So Vaduna, the puppet maker, who is a human necromancer. um, and I thought it was kind of so she offers basic medical assistance and surgery for the local town in return for cadaver donation upon death. She hides who and when the dead are around about her dead manage the graveyard. You know, I don't really know if this has happened, but um, so maybe she's not a villain, but she'll definitely be causing some undead troubles. Um, so that may be something, you know, what's better than a swamp with undead bodies floating around, you know, bloated corpses in the water. I gotta paste without formatting. Um, so I think those would be, I guess these won't be villains, but let's call them problem NPCs. So these are people that will cause problems for the party. So I'm going to do Fire Giant Tribe, I think Lizard Folk Tribe, can't spell today, Bullywug, I gotta check that name, but I'm pretty sure those are the little frog people, Bullywug Tribe with classic Froghemoth as the leader or something, and so they're all kind of warring. And then of course we're gonna have the humanoids. So these are gonna be the humans, um, like the dwarves and the elves. Um, Dragonborn. um, so yeah, they're a little bit more primitive. They probably have settlements, but no major city. They're kind of at the start of clearing out the area. Um, terraforming, kind of make it into the what it was in the future. Um, Humanoids, and they're going to be the aggressors, I think, in this one. Uh, Aggressors and committing atrocities to some of the other tribes. Classic colonialism. Um, they're trying to take over territory and wipe out the rest of the tribes so that they can have access to whatever resources are there. I don't know if the party's too interested about that. I mean, there'll probably be a couple mines, um, so that might be interesting. I'll have to come up with some ideas or check out, or if you have ideas on, um, resource gathering. How can they, if they find a mine with, minerals and gold, silver, whatever, besides money, can they use it to reinforce their structures, that sort of thing? Imagine in the swamp, the wood's not really that great for building. It's kind of wet. Um, so I don't know. We'll just have to see what they come up with. I'm going to see if they have anything on how to rebuild their chateau. But so we have the problem NPCs. I don't think the party might be able to. I think the immediate danger is fine. We can probably do that in the next session. The introductions, if they want to do that, will probably be the next session. Surviving, I'll probably bring that up that says, hey, if you want to do anything super long, like they want to travel 10 miles somewhere, which I don't know, they need food and water. I don't think they packed a lot. They may have some in their chateau. Um, they're probably going to ask, do we have food there? And I'll probably just roll a D20 or something and say you have, um, or a D100 and whatever they get. That's how many rations they have worth, whatever, and whatever rations they have on their person. And if somebody knows how to create food, then, that's an easy solve. If there's a druid somewhere that can create food and water, I think that's a druid. Um, Otherwise, this whole survival thing is just super easy, but, I can always bring up complications that, it rains or there's like a, poison rain or something interesting, just contaminates everything. The water contaminates everything it touches. You can't eat it anymore, so how are you going to survive? Stuff like that. I don't think the shelter rebuilt is going to be something that they focus on, but I do know I need some kind of order it. So random swamp encounter. They're probably, not hungry, not thirsty right away. So that needs to be the immediate danger. And then once they kind of settle down again, they can talk to NPCs and, hopefully one of them takes the lead and kind of, they're going to take the charge and direct everyone what to do. But, maybe they want to seek guidance from one of the NPCs, which I think, so let me finish getting their names. I digress. So we got Damu the turtle. So I think that's what they wanted to. He's the turtle cook. So it's good that they have a cook. We have Alithar, the holy champion. Alithar, holy champion dragonborn. And again, I think, just kind of coming off of this NPC, he may be one that wants to fight with the humanoids because I don't know if I don't know if I... Nope, I didn't put a... So he's going to have some sort of deity. We don't really track deities that much. Everyone kind of has their own, whether it's made up or one of the ones from the handbooks. But I'm thinking he may be one of the ones that will kind of question if he can turn on his people. Um, and we may try to... I don't even know what the party's going to do. They may try to kill the fire giants too. So, um, I'm sure the rest of the NPCs will try to follow that. So this is the player. This is my DM note. So Damu, the turtle cook, and I need to bring that down just a little bit. Did I really copy over? Oh, no. I think I was writing in the wrong... Yep, I was writing in the wrong one. So it's Damu, the turtle cook. We have Alithar, the holy champion, dragonborn, Auntie Jade, and this is Halius, the spy half-elf. And I think maybe I should switch that just to keep my consistent. So half-elf, spy, and dragonborn, holy champion. Auntie Jade is technically an assassin. Yeah. Um, yeah. So she comes off as this, old lady with a tea set. And I mean, there's all this personality from whoever submitted this. Um, I may or may not use it, given that we transported out of her world. Um, or she may try to start up the Wednesday knitting circle. Um, and yeah, the weavers. I mean, that's interesting stuff. So assassin for hire. So she's very fit. Yeah, best tea. She already shared that with the party, and she has the world's best granny mug. So I mean, so far she's nice to the party. Um, Chaotic neutral. I mean, everyone's kind of in the same situation where they don't know what's going on, so everyone's kind of at the beginning we'll be working together. So that's kind of my plan. Um, so she is a human assassin. I spelled that wrong. Assassin. All right. And I think she's a human. Yep. So I mean that matters, but I think I already told the party. So that's kind of my thoughts for this. So some of these story threads I crossed out from previous ones because these were all me trying to think into the future what we want to do, and they're all kind of obsolete now because there's no more hobgoblins that the party ran into. The dragons flying, those aren't around. I was kind of debating on whether I wanted to do the books or not, but there we go. I'm gonna leave Lupe and the Goblin followers, Strigor and Hobgoblin followers. I may do something like, um, the ancestors of these people are here, and especially Bernie the Goblin. That was the one that the party friended. They were kind of mean to him, but they fed him. Maybe his ancestor is here. We can see what we can do that. Owlbear eggs, I'm just permanently saying Tidrin's taking care of them. They're kind of still in the process of hatching. I was hoping that this player would come back because he seemed really interested in uh, having owlbear eggs. So, um, but in a couple sessions, I'll have a match. Scrump's wolf. Um, I'm sure they'll bond more. I'm trying to come up with interesting ways. Right now, he still snaps at people, so Wolf's still snappy. Um, but would rather stick with Scrump. In this new area, again, transported out of his world. I keep saying his, but it's a she-wolf. Her world, still snappy. So unless Scrump just does something really mean, which Scrump is kind of animalistic himself, and they kind of eat the same foods, it should go well. Um, I just need to come up with some more interactions that kind of keep the, a tense relationship going. Just so people aren't like, oh, I think a lot of DMs have this trouble that their players just want pet animals and they just get it instantly with a roll of a 17. But We're trying to role play this a little bit more. The wolf is still aggressive, but um, becoming more friendly to Scrump as they. And I forgot the name. I don't know. I don't think it was Athena, but it was something Roman sounding. I'll have to update that if it's wrong. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for session. I think we're on 25 now. Um, so yeah, let me know your thoughts on anything that I've kind of put question marks on or asked questions about. Rules for survival, just neat things that players might be interested in. Um, how to build a shelter. Just some, kind of quick and easy rules that we can use to say, hey, you spent a day gathering wood, you're able to, repair it, 20% or whatever. I mean, that may be what I do, but, they're going to have to role play that adventure as they go out or something, or they can send their followers and, their followers come back, they run into some troubles and bring some more elements to the story. So, um, yeah, I think that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.